Yes.
What'd you just say? Please don't
It's
do
on.
this to me.
Just-
Are we on?
Yes.
We're on.
I'm going to call you names.
You're going to call me names. Okay. I like to be on time. What about you?
Is it on time?
It's on time.
So why are you
we're
bitching me
almost
out?
a little late.
You're
30 seconds late.
suck on it.
Suck on it. Welcome aboard, everybody. She says, suck on it? What, are you kidding me? That's not the worst thing she's ever said. Anyway, good morning, everybody, and welcome aboard on a lovely, it is Labor Day. That's
I'm gonna
right.
pinch
We're Labor Day. We're sitting next to each other.
I'm going to torment you today.
This is the first Labor Day we've actually sat next to each other, right?
That's not true.
We don't usually do shows on Labor Day for fear that there'll be nobody listening. But the way the chat room looks today, it's fantastic, okay? Scattered showers in St. Louis. Yeah, same thing in New York. All right, we got sound? Tell me how the sound is, all right? Really want to know. And today it seems crazy. Normally, I mean, there, as James Caprion said, there are 6 teams not playing on Labor Day. Andy, you don't know the history of Labor Day, do you?
I guess not, Lenny.
Labor Day double headers were the history of Labor Day. 4th of July double headers, Memorial Day double headers. And now there are 6 teams not playing on Labor Day. What do you have to say about that? Talking to you.
Yeah, no. I don't really care that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I mean, I care more when they don't play on 4th of July.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Labor Day, it's to me, that's just my personal...
All right, let me go to the chat room and ask this question. What are we missing more on Labor Day? The double headers? I'm going to give you 3 choices. Are we missing the double headers? Are we missing the teams not playing at all? 6 teams not playing at all. And the third choice, come on, everybody, put your pens, pencils, and bloody fingers. Third choice is the Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Is that not happening?
Jerry Lewis died a couple of years ago.
So what? Are they still doing it?
No. So what do you miss the most? Double headers, your team just not playing, or the Jerry Lewis Telethon? What do you think? I missed the Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think? What's your...
So...
clearly you have an opinion of this.
You think the Yankees are going to collapse this year? Some say they've already collapsed. What do you think, Andy?
All right. Well, they've lost 4 out of their last... They're 4-6 in their last 10.
Yeah.
They're 9-20 since the trade deadline.
All right, approximately.
They've
9-20.
scored 3 runs or fewer in 20 games since the trade deadline. They lost again. They had a 15.5 game lead, over the Rays. Now it's down to 4 games.
5 games, I think. 5.
Let me see.
I had to change some of them.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I think it's 5 games, right?
Well, back 5 games.
5,
but
4. Doesn't matter.
But
they're blueing it.
The Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles still have a chance to catch them.
Well, I think the biggest thing is the Orioles and how many. They're 8.5 games back. That's the biggest news. But would you rather have do you miss the most your team's doubleheader, your team not playing, or the Jerry Lewis Telethon?
I don't know how many people even watch it.
What do you think? Boston Paul says the Jerry Lewis. What about the Mets collapsing? Big Al the Proud. You're absolutely right. But to me, look.
What are you doing?
Remember 1978?
Yes.
The Bucky Dent homer? The Red Sox fans will never forget it.
Right.
The Red Sox, like many chokers, they were cruising midseason.
He's a Cincinnati Red.
Remember, they led the division by 14 games. The Yankees ran off a 52-21 run, and then Bucky hit that home run.
Who's Bucky Dent? Is he from the Cincinnati?
No, Bucky Dent was with the Yankees when he hit the home run.
Who's the catcher from the Cincinnati that beat him in 1974?
Oh, I don't know. I remember in 1964, you don't remember this, the Philadelphia Phillies, they were up 6.5 games on September 21st with 12 games to match. They were ahead by 6.5. They had 12 games to play, and this was September 21st.
Of 1964,
Wow.
they lost 10 games straight.
Yeah, and they had a chance to deal the Cardinals a death blow.
So you think
All
that's
right?
happening to the
And they
Yankees?
didn't do it. Well, look, these are just some. Of course, 1987, the Blue Jays decided to. They had a 3.5 game lead with 7 games to play. So there have been.
Then they
some,
lost the rest of their games. Okay.
Yeah.
So they had a 3.5 game lead with 7 games to play, and then they lost the rest of their games. And like the Phillies in 1964, they lost 3 directly to their closest competition. So the Detroit Tigers actually, but this is back in. These are all just history lessons.
Yeah. Well, that's just what it is.
What about today? Every day that I get to work with you, every day.
Yeah, what is that?
Albert Pujols and Wilmer Flores Day.
That's right. Albert Pujols and Wilmer Flores Day. No question
Every
about
time
it.
I get to do a show, they do it up.
Every time we do a show,
Wilmer Flores
it seems that Wilmer Flores hits a home run.
and Albert Pujols.
All right, what about Dylan Cease of the Chicago White Sox? Dylan Cease, the first...
Wait, I thought you were going to talk about the Mets.
Well,
Their
you
lead
are.
is
So
down to
let's,
2
well,
games.
first of all, Andrew Benintendi, if you haven't heard, broke the hook of his hamate bone, and he'll need surgery.
And Max Scherzer, he realized something was off, so he yanked himself out of a game, which is very unlike him, really.
But
he
it was
left
very
the game,
smart.
Yes.
He's smart to pull himself out.
Left side fatigue after 5 innings, 67 pitches on Saturday night, and he is confident that he's going to make his next start as scheduled. But the Mets now lead down to 2. Their lead in the division is down to 2 games.
2 games. Let's say...
1 game.
Oh, it's 1 game now?
Looks like 1
Oh,
game.
my God. Happy Labor Day Sunday, and thanks for supporting the lady and the legend,
It's Monday.
Big, whatever it is, Big Al on the prowl. Anthony D.B. Miller is here. Boston Paul, Dad's a Premier. Daniel Ferrara, Eddie Heckman. Happy birthday again to Jeremy Gibbs. J.R.
Yay,
Matz.
J.R. Matz is here.
Jay Trella.
All of our teacher friends.
Okay, Leonard Donaldson is back from school. Robert C. Rotorius, triple play.
All of our teacher friends.
Toledo, the school is still going. And, all right, let's get to Dylan Cease. What do you think?
He's the first MLB pitcher to have 4 games in a season where he threw 6 or more shutout innings and allowing no more than 1 hit since Pete Alexander in 1915.
Yeah.
And so, Dylan Cease, I will tell you this. He finally got his first complete game, 9 innings on the 3rd a couple days ago. But the outing before that, he had 8 innings. And he's just been great. He always goes out there and gives 5 innings at least, but the last couple of outings he's been excellent. Unfortunately, the White Sox are not carrying it, really. Well, the White Sox are in 3rd in the division, 7 games back.
But then they
2
still
games
have a
back.
chance
2
to-
games back.
Cleveland is slumping. The White Sox still have a chance to win that division.
Okay.
Dylan Cease, first pitcher to have 4
I already
games in
read
the
that.
season where he threw 6. I mean, fine.
So,
Okay.
hold on. The Cleveland Indians have, Cleveland, they've lost, they're 2-8.
Pick up the pace, will you please? I know it's early. I know it's...
I've been up since 4 in the morning.
I know you have, so pick it up. Let's see. You seem lethargic.
Suck on it.
Suck on it
Why do you say I'm lethargic?
because I'm not sucking on it.
You don't have to yell.
I have to yell. I got to get you some energy. Remember, energy, pace, that's the name of the game. Right now, you have no energy. Why?
I'm just trying to give information.
Don't give me the finger. All right, go ahead.
One of these days, people are just going to hear the whole shit just explode over here.
He's the first pitcher in 50 years to have 20 or more starts of 0 or 1 earned run at this point in the. Are you kidding me? Dylan Cease is having a Bob Gibson type of a season. Only Cease and Gibson have done it in less than 30 total starts. That's 20 starts of 0 or 1 earned runs. That's an unbelievable. That is crazy. The whole list consists of Ruth, Koufax, Walter Johnson, Cy Young, and now Dylan Cease. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So since since the All-Star break, the White Sox are the only team with less than 10 stolen base attempts. Not just less than 10 stolen bases.
And they have
haven't even
runners.
tried.
They have runners on their team too.
As soon as I get my pace going and my rhythm going,
Yeah, get your rhythm.
and
Go
then
on.
you cut me off.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go. Rhythm. Yeah, we like the rhythm
White Sox
method.
have stolen.
We do the rhythm
Listen,
method for doing a
This
podcast.
is important.
Go ahead.
Don't interrupt me one more time. Since the All-Star break, like we said, the Chicago White Sox have not even attempted 10 stolen bases, even though during this time since the All-Star break, they're second in the league in the amount of times that they've gotten on base. So they're number 2 with getting men on base, and they haven't even attempted to steal 10 times. And so the White Sox full of a bunch of power hitters, or what happened? Where's all their stolen bases? I mean, Yohan Moncada is not going to do
The
it.
White Sox, Lewis Robert could be starting in a day or two. Eloy was expected to steal some bases.
No, he didn't.
In my book, he was.
According to what made you
According to
think
his
that?
history, Eloy could steal some bases.
He doesn't steal
They
bases.
had a ton of guys. But look, it's all about Dylan Cease.
Let's talk about the Cardinals.
Well, first of all, about the Cardinals. Miles Mikolas.
Yeah, he only struck out 3, but he didn't walk anybody, and he
Right.
did over 8 innings.
Okay. Cease is the second pitcher this season to lose a no-hitter after 8 2/3, and Mikolas is the other. Okay. And it was Cease's first complete game. And he gave up a hit with 2 outs in the 9th inning to Luis Arias.
Yeah, but Luis Arias.
Should he have pitched to him? I mean, for goodness sake, he's leading the league in batting.
Yeah, in the AL. He's
Yeah.
leading the AL. Should he have pitched to him? The guy isn't that big of a threat, but I mean, maybe I don't think he should have walked him. What else is he supposed to do?
There's only been a couple of pitchers this season with multiple games of 7 or more innings and 1 or less fewer hits allowed, and no runs allowed.
Kershaw.
Okay, Kershaw's one, and who's the other? Dylan Cease is one, who did it 3 times. Kershaw did it twice. Who's the other pitcher this season to have 7 or more innings? Okay, 0 or more fewer hits allowed and no runs allowed. Who's the only
Should I tell?
other pitcher?
Can I tell?
Well, do
Or
you
should
know
we-
it?
Yeah, I'm looking at the answer on your screen.
Oh, you're looking at it? It is Joe Musgrove. Go ahead.
So yesterday, it wasn't a huge, well, maybe it was a huge game to some people. I know college football is really a local thing and really big deal. But
Mitchell
anyway,
Larson is here. You got to stand up and say hello to Mitchell.
Sonny Clark is
Sonny
here.
Clark. Good morning to Sonny Clark.
Yay.
Woo! Sonny, the animal Clark. Tommy
Couch
Johnson
potato.
is here.
Couch
the
potato.
couch potato. Holy mackerel.
Wonderful.
The-
Very
the-
nice to see you,
The
Sonny.
23rd most active sportscaster. Go ahead.
Okay. So yesterday, a college football game, Virginia Tech.
College football? Where are you getting into
I'm gonna
college
crush
football?
you.
College football? All right, go ahead. I have no idea where you're going. Go ahead.
Virginia Tech and Old Dominion, they had a delay yesterday because the assistant coaches for Virginia Tech were stuck in the elevator.
They were what?
They were stuck in the elevator, Leonard.
They were stuck. The coaches were stuck in the
This-
elevator.
The assistant coaches.
It has to be the first time in history.
So they delayed the game because the assistant coaches were stuck in the elevator. First of all, I'm not a fan of elevators, and as the older I get, the less of a fan I am.
How about that? All right. Let's give some credit to Tim McLeod, who, as you know, if you don't know this, if there's any information you want
About
Japanese baseball, you got to go to Tim McLeod because he is really on it. The only one that I know in the fantasy sports industry that has really made a mark on the Japanese league. He talks about a 22-year-old phenom,
Murakami.
Murakami. Now,
Munetaka Murakami.
that's Munetaka. Now, the first pitcher, I believe, ever to pitch in the major leagues from Japan, was his name Murakami?
I have no idea,
I
Leonard.
pitched for the Giants. Anybody remember the first pitcher ever to pitch in the major leagues.
He just
from
hit his
Japan.
50th homer. Okay.
50th guy.
This guy in Japan this year, he's got 50 home runs. He's 24 home runs ahead of the guy in second place for homers. You just don't see this in Japan that often. And he's got 40 more RBIs than the next guy in RBIs. He has a 341 batting average. The next player down at 324. Plus, he's 10 home runs behind the all-time single-season record holder, Ballantyne. He's currently sporting a 1.233 OPS. What an amazing season. Thanks to Tim Cloud for giving us this update. This is somebody that you should etch in your table. Murakami, Murakami. 50 homers in Japan. It's unbelievable.
It's really crazy. And I'll tell you something else really crazy. And this is really funny. When I read, it's not often that I read a comment from a player and it really makes me laugh.
Chuckle?
No, not chuckle.
You chuckle.
Laugh. Do I chuckle?
Yes, you chuckle.
Oh,
like
what do you
Santa.
do? Gene Segura said, and listen,
giggle,
this
Leonard.
is great. Jake DeGrom is so dominant that when he takes the mound, even his own team can't hit. Think about that. He's so dominant that even his own team can't hit.
All right, speaking of the Phillies, Zach
right.
Wheeler, right forearm tendonitis. He underwent an MRI on Thursday, and it revealed minor inflammation but no structural damage. So he's going to be reevaluated today or tomorrow. Everybody in the clubhouse, according to these journalists, everyone around the club says he could pitch right now, but the Phillies are being really conservative with him. I know they probably can't do much this season, but can they make the playoffs? Can the Phillies make the playoffs? Because they've had a 10-year drought of not making the playoffs.
Right. I don't think so. No, the Phillies are not going to make the playoffs. Oh, they could make I don't know about the playoffs.
Let me look at the standings.
Yeah, take a look. And while you look at the standings, I'm going to talk to you and not embarrass you.
Who?
Okay?
Me?
You.
You can't embarrass me.
I can't embarrass you?
Well, okay, I won't threaten you.
You didn't stop talking about Zach Gallen all preseason. You did not. Shut your freaking mouth about Zach Gallen. And
that's not true.
He's in the midst of he had 34 scoreless innings dating back to August 1st. He entered August 8th with a 3.31 ERA, 41 score. I mean, he's the fourth pitcher in the modern era to pitch 6 or more scoreless innings in 6 consecutive starts.
Dude, he's a 2/3 of an inning away from breaking the record for the most scoreless innings by a Diamondback. I have to be honest, okay, and fair.
Go ahead.
I did not draft Gallen on any of my teams this year. But
you tried to draft him.
I love him as a pitcher, and
You tried to draft him.
No, I didn't.
How could you be a broadcaster and tout a player as much and not try to draft him?
Well, number one, he was injured coming into the season.
Okay,
number two, he's on a horrible team for hitting, as far as we knew at the time. But I did get to draft him in our Memorial Day League. We had one.
Okay.
We had a mid-season league,
and
I did draft him because I was really excited to get some of the people that I didn't have on my teams, like that were doing so well. Like, I mean, I had Machado on a team or two, but I really love Machado. Gallen, the same thing. I've always known he's been a great pitcher, but I absolutely did not draft him going into this season, and I regret that. But it's all about your reasoning, Leonard.
Yeah.
It's all about your system. If your system is logical, then you can't blame yourself for the results.
Now, I've had a lot of injuries in my Tout Wars and Labor teams, and I have used those injuries as what I think is real reasons why I'm not doing so well. I mean, Bryce Harper's been out, but one of the reasons I used was Mookie Betts. But for the second time this year, Mookie Betts has tied a career high with 12 extra base hits in a 10-game span. He has done everything I expected him to do, everything I expected from him when I drafted him, and his time out really hasn't hurt him.
I just want to say a couple more things about Gallen because he in the last 30 days he has a 0 ERA. In the last 30 days, he goes every single time he goes out there. He goes 7 innings, 6 innings. I mean, this guy is just marvelous. So Yes, I would love to take credit for that, but I didn't. So
Okay.
let's talk about the games yesterday, right?
Well, wait a second.
I saw Mookie Betts and Juan Soto
Yeah.
be nice to each other on the field.
Oh, that's true. The Giants.
We watched
now-
UFC on Saturday, right? All day we spent watching
Oh,
the UFC.
Saturday, I got to tell you, my son Mark, who's 23, he's a big MMA guy. And we spent from 12 noon
Yep.
to 6:30 at night. It was in France where they have about 8 fights.
Yeah,
It was
more than that.
It was a fantastic day of MMA. It was fantastic. If you get a chance to just take a look at some of these guys, and they're developing personalities.
Yes.
One of the differences between wrestling and boxing and MMA has been the personalities of the boxers. Of the wrestlers. This MMA thing, it's starting to get there. All right? There's
Okay.
a guy who, after the fight, what does he do? He takes shoes from the crowd and he drinks beer out of
Bam
them.
Bam.
Yeah, Bam Bam.
Okay,
Whatever.
wait. I get to say something too before
Yes,
we go
you
on.
do. Go ahead.
You don't just get to take all the MMA love.
All right, go ahead.
So we usually don't get to watch the UFC with Mark because it comes on at 10 at night and we're always in bed by then. But because it was in France, every once in a while we get to watch with him. And we made food and we had it was like Super Bowl Sunday almost. In
Yes,
his
it
house.
was great.
But the UFC fighters are so. I love the fact that they all represent their countries. They really have a
Yes.
lot of pride in their countries. You can see the flags and the fan base is just wild and fun.
Right.
And these guys work so hard. Like there's no sport in the world that has people that work this hard to be this good. And I want to give them credit, a lot of the credit. The athletes in this sport, they are totally
Phenomenal.
good to each other. They always respect
great
each
sports,
other.
Yes.
And I just love all of that. So,
I think that's a weakness, by the way. They have to change that.
no,
It can't be too nice to each other.
They show respect to
They
each
need
other.
more rivalries. They need more dislikes.
They do. They have rivalries.
I mean,
Okay?
they made more.
Next
Everybody
week is
was
Nate
nice.
Diaz. He's from Stockton, California.
Yes.
He comes out to Tupac. That's why I
And
like
there's a card at Madison Square Garden in a couple of weeks where the tickets range. The ticket prices are in the $7,000 mark. This sport is becoming so popular. $7,000 for a ticket, and it's not even the best seat in the house.
It's a great sport. I
Needless
love
to
that
say.
Mark has glommed onto this sport as his favorite sport because these fighters are like role models for young boys, which I
Needless
think
to
is
say, we're not going. All right. And once again,
I'm
Eddie
going.
Heckman, thank you all for being here. This is what a great chat room on a Labor Day Monday. Great to see everybody in the chat room. It's phenomenal.
You suck.
The Giants now. Wow, I can't stop burping. The Giants now have 4 walk-off home runs this season. That's the most they've had since 2013, and they just keep rolling along. And one of the guys is your guy.
Who?
Who?
I don't even know what team we're talking about. Lynn.
The Giants with the walk-off.
Oh,
home run.
Wilmer.
Wilmer Flores did it. And then, of course, you got Albert Pujols.
My other fave.
What about Albert Pujols?
He has 3 pinch hit home runs this season, tied for the 5th most in the season in Cardinals history. And the fans love him. I
Well, of
mean, nobody's
course.
having more fun than Pujols right now. And I hope that King App will come and listen to this later, and he will know.
Does anybody think Albert Pujols,
He's
if
not
he
coming back.
if he gets close to 700 home runs,
He's going to hit it.
I think there's a real chance he's coming back next year. The big question is, if he gets to 700 or more, will he still come back next year? He could break some serious records here. Okay, serious records.
He's not coming back.
I know.
He deserves to leave the sport on the top of the world. And, somebody asked in the chat room, is Albert Pujols on steroids? I highly doubt that he would try to leave his career like that. I mean, he's not at the beginning of some long-ass contract that he has to perform like Cano was when he got caught. I just don't think Pujols is on steroids.
And if he is on steroids, good for him.
Why?
All right,
What?
Good for him.
Good for him.
And by the way, Brandon Hughes is the 451st different pitcher Albert Pujols has homered off him.
That's two more than Barry Bonds for
It's
the
two
most
more,
different
right.
pitchers homered off all time.
And what should be, speaking of
Brewers?
Bonds,
Oh.
what should be the home run record? Should it be Roger Maris' 61, or should it be Barry Bonds' 73? If Bonds is not allowed in the Hall of Fame, then how could his 73 home runs be the record?
That's the thing. You don't get to decide what should be.
I'm not deciding.
And nobody
I'm just,
and the writers don't get to decide. The vultures, they don't get to decide. It is the most home runs hit in a season
So then why isn't he in the Hall of Fame?
because the writers don't like you. You're not in the Hall of Fame, aka Kurt Schilling.
Because of steroids. That's why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's not for the journalists to decide. Okay,
But they have.
I know, and it's a total abomination.
He's got
of
the
baseball.
most home runs in a season in his career, and he's not in the Hall of Fame because of steroids.
because the
That's
vultures
fine.
and the media don't like him.
But if he's not allowed in the Hall of Fame, he shouldn't be allowed to have the record for the most home runs.
So you agree with I think it was Trella in the chat room who said he should either be in the Hall of Fame and have the home run record,
Right.
or he should not be in the Hall of Fame and not have the home run record. You can't do one or the other in this case.
And thank you, Jeff Trella, who will be, I believe, featured on the Legends Fantasy Sports Network coming soon. Not at a theater near you. It'll be coming, and you'll be wanting it, and you'll get it, and it's going to be glorious, okay? It'll be absolutely glorious. And by the way, the Brewers, remember the Brewers? They had a team. They were a disaster in Arizona. They fell completely out of the National League Central, 8.5 games behind. They're done.
Yeah, they're done. They were the first team to actually. They were the first team to be out of the playoffs.
One of the things that I find...
Well, they couldn't be the first team to be out of the playoffs. Does that even make sense?
No, they're not the first team out of the playoffs.
They can't be, right?
No, they're not.
Mets manager Buck Showalter,
Yeah.
he hates the strength of schedule narrative. The
Right.
Mets dropped 2 consecutive games to the Nationals in New York, and their 10-game lead over Atlanta could be won at the end of the
Yes,
day, and
it
it
was.
is won today.
Yes.
Their next 13 games are against the Pirates, the Marlins, and the Cubs. Why does Buck Showalter not like the strength of schedule coming up for the Mets?
It's not.
He doesn't like the narrative.
The narrative. And the narrative was they got so easy, and yet they lost 2 games to Washington,
Well, I
the
understand.
worst team in the league.
They're not the worst.
What? Who's the worst?
Oakland.
Oh, maybe so. I know the Braves,
Okay.
since June 1st, are 61-24, 459 runs scored, 288 runs allowed. They have just been so dominant, just like they did last year. 141 home runs and 79 homers allowed. This is all, and I got a trivia question for you.
I
okay?
love trivia.
This is all since June 1st. Now,
the hardest hit
the
ball.
10 hardest hit balls by a Pirate. Name the players with the 10 hardest hit balls by the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. Who
There's
is
10
it?
of them for each hit.
The 10 hardest hit balls were hit by how many can you get right? 10 hardest hit balls by Pirates. How many of those can you get right? What player hit them?
We'll let the chat room chime in on that.
Let's let the chat room. The 10 hardest hit balls hit by the Pirates this season.
How many players do you think?
Name the players who are in the top 10 of hardest hit balls by the Pirates.
They all getting it.
Chris from Cambridge is here, okay? Good morning to Chris. Yeah, and it's not Reynolds. Not Reynolds, I'll tell you that. It's not Eddie Heckman either, okay? All right, it's not Eddie Heckman, okay. Now let's get in.
Unholy Toledo.
Where is it? Oh, there he is. Unholy Toledo's in the game.
And his dogs.
Good morning to the great Unholy Toledo. Oh, it is Monday, we forget. All right, want to talk about some more action? The Blue Jays and
Let's talk
Pittsburgh.
about the games.
Go ahead, go.
The Blue Jays are 14 over. Hold on. I got to.
They're 14 games over 500.
Yeah.
So that's not so
They're
bad.
6-1 in Stripling's last 7 starts. If, I think we should have been drafting Ross Stripling above Steven Matz, who seem to always fall somewhere close to each other in the draft.
Yeah.
But his last 7 starts, they're 6-1, dating back to July 13th. They had a bumpy homestand last week against the Angels and the Cubbies, but they crushed the Pirates, who are 11-34 in their last 45 games. So they take a 2.5-game lead over Baltimore, heading into a 4-game set that starts today with what? A doubleheader.
Yep, that's
So
right.
you do get your doubleheaders, fool.
We did. There were some. All right. So the series between Baltimore
And the Blue Jays, they're going to face each other 3 more times over the final month of the season.
Eddie Heckman's got a chance, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the question.
I mean, if the Orioles can beat the Toronto Blue Jays in 2 out of 3 of these series, it is going to be phenomenal for the Orioles fans and for our friend Eddie Heckman. And a lot of people in the chat room love the Orioles.
All right, what are we gonna do if the Orioles make the playoffs? What are we gonna do for the great Eddie Heckman if the Orioles make the playoffs?
And Eddie gets to go to all the games, and there's just nothing better than to be able to spend time with his grandkids at the baseball games.
There you go.
As they grow up. It's wonderful. It's just the American dream, going to the baseball game with your grandkids every day.
What's your American dream?
That's my American dream.
Sitting next to me on a Monday. What?
You suck. Just kidding, Leonard. I've sat next to you at a lot of baseball games.
Okay, thank you very much. Would you rather? All right. Would you rather have? Wait a second. I've been asking the question. If you're listening to a podcast like you're listening now, would you rather have it on video or just audio?
They want to see
Would you like it on streaming video, streaming audio,
streaking live
video, or just audio? And also, would you like to see the Lady and the Legend podcast live, or you think it's better so you could use your imagination a little bit? Okay, which would you like? Live or on video, okay? All right, so where do you find the actual events for Exit Velocity? I don't know.
Where do you find it?
I don't know, I just find them. Cincinnati and Colorado played a double header, and C.J. Cron, I mean, it's live. Video is the best, according to Mitchell Horston. I'll tell you, C.J. Cron or Christian Walker next year. I wonder how much they'll go for. Who do you think's going to go for more next year, Andrea? Christian Walker or C.J. Cron? Are you paying attention? That would be nice. Tune in someday.
Suck on it.
Who do you think is going to go more next year?
Christian Walker is going to go for more. Because C.J. Cron is a great power hitter, but he's in Colorado and he could leave at any time. I don't think his contract lasts through next year. So if you're looking for a hitter and these two are up available, you're going to take Walker.
All right, he hit a 2-run homer in the ninth to give the Rockies an 8-4 win.
In the first game of the doubleheader.
First game. Second game, Cincinnati won 10-0. And Aquino hit his first career grand slam after entering as an injury replacement. Cincinnati beats Colorado 10-0. They split the doubleheader, and the Rockies won the opener 8-4. Charlie Blackmon hit a pinch hit 2-run single that highlighted a 4-run seventh, and then CJ hit his 25th home run, I think 25th home run of the season. Baltimore and Oakland, Andy.
Okay, I'm trying to find the stat. Go to StatCast, Jay Gibbs. Go to StatCast and look around. There's a whole toolbar up on the top that goes across the top. They have the scoreboard. I think you can look at the examples of exit velocity, per bat in those. I'm not positive of that, but I think so.
Remember at the beginning of the season, in the exhibition season, I talked about a heavy set guy to play.
You're the heavy set guy.
Seth Brown. He hit 2 home runs solo right? Against an
Adrian Martinez threw 6 innings.
Yeah, he's not fantasy relevant though.
Not yet, but he will be, Leonard.
He may be.
Through 6 innings of 3-hit ball. That's okay.
Okay.
So Oakland snapped a 4-game losing streak and improved to look at their record.
Yeah,
50 and 85.
50 and 85.
I think
they sold off players. They told the city of Oakland they wanted out of there.
It's not going to work.
They stopped all the discounts for the tickets from the fans. No wonder. It's bad for baseball.
So
very bad.
Trevor Story, we're talking about Boston and Texas. Trevor Story hit a 3-run homer over the Green Monster, and Xander Bogaerts had his 8th straight multi-hit game. And the Boston Red Sox beat the Texas Rangers 5-2.
Anybody think that Bogaerts is going to opt out? He can opt out of his contract after the season. The Red Sox now have a 5-game winning streak, trying to climb back into the wild card. And the Rangers have lost 8 straight. So what do you think?
Is he going to opt out?
You're known as
a lot of
Andrea,
things.
the Red Sox fan.
I'm known as a lot of things.
So do you think that the Red Sox are going to get back into the pennant race?
This year?
No, in 2075.
No, I don't think they're going to get in the pennant race, okay? I think it's a ridiculous question.
Into the wild? No, it's not.
It is.
It's not ridiculous.
They're at the bottom of the friggin'
They
AL
can
East.
still get into the wild card chase.
No, they can't.
And with Bogaerts, who can opt out, he raised his average to 317. His stretch is the longest for a Boston player who... what's that for? You're nudging me. Am I doing something wrong?
No, I'm just tooling with you.
Okay. Anyway,
let's move on.
I lost my train of thought here.
You're talking about ridiculous Red Sox.
Well, how about ridiculous Texas? They lost for the 15th time in their last 18 games in Fenway, and there were 17 games under 500.
I thought they were going to be much better.
Yeah, so did everybody. It's their longest skid since a 12-game losing streak last year. And who made his debut?
Yes,
Do you know?
Yes.
Who made his debut?
Tristan Casas.
That's
and he
right.
went 1 for 4 with a single, and I think he played first base.
Yep, nice backhand play for on a hard ground.
So then we go to Kansas City Royals.
Well, Dallas Keuchel, remember him?
He's not fantasy relevant.
No, but you got to give
his
him...
wife is fantasy relevant.
Sonny Clark has come back into the studio.
Kelly.
Thought we lost you.
What's her name?
Clarkson? I don't know.
No. I'm talking about Keuchel. The only thing
I don't know what his wife is.
she's fantasy relevant.
But Dallas Keuchel was designated
Kelly Nash.
for assignment before the game. He's not fantasy relevant.
His wife is.
Okay, and so are you.
I know that.
Okay? You're my fantasy. Go.
Kansas City Royals beat Detroit 3-2. Bobby Witt Jr. drove in.
What a year, huh? I don't mean to interrupt you. I get excited. Go ahead.
He's the 5th rookie in Major League history to have 20 homers and 20 stolen bases, and he reached base 3 times yesterday. He has 24 go-ahead RBIs.
Go-ahead RBIs.
They designated Miguel Cabrera.
Well, that's
No,
because
that's
no,
wrong.
didn't
I
designate
didn't.
nobody. Go ahead.
He's the designated hitter.
Yeah, okay, all right.
He was on. Well, they kind of did designate him to the injury
but
list.
he was placed on the 10-day injury list, and he wound up coaching the team.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
that's because of the type of guy he is.
But they're hopeful that he could return at age 39.
He's better
all
coaching at this point.
Right? Okay. Aaron Judge led off the game
The
with
first pitch. The first pitch.
He was batting leadoff?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't even see that. But I guess he led off the game with his Major League leading 53rd home run. And the Yankees stopped Tampa 2-1 Sunday.
That was Judge's career high because he had 52 one year. In
is that
2017,
right?
He had 52.
Well,
he also doubled, singled, and scored both of the runs for New York. Dude, this team is just on a downward spiral. But Frankie Montas looked good. He allowed 1 hit over 5 shutout innings. And we did increase to 5 games now. But this is a situation where the Rays trailed by 15 and a half games on July 10th, okay? So, yes, 5 games is a decent lead, but it's dwindling quickly. And we already talked about that to start the show. So he struck out 7, Frankie Montas. Didn't walk anybody. He was yanked out of the game after making 93 pitches. He's 0-2 with a 7.01 ERA in his first 5 starts since he was acquired from Oakland. He didn't start very good, but he looked strong yesterday, and he did strike some batters.
He had 2 starts earlier this season against Tampa when he was with the Athletics, and he did limit them to 1 earned run.
Over 18 innings.
Over 18
in the third innings in 2 outings.
Yep.
That's a lot of innings per
bad.
start.
Montas.
So the Nationals beat the Mets 7-1.
The Nationals beat the Mets again. Go.
Carrasco did not Carrasco's already performed better than what you paid for him, so let's just look at it from that point of view. But he was activated from the injured list prior to yesterday's game. He missed more than 2 weeks due to a strained left oblique. He was charged with 1 run in 2 2/3, so he didn't even make it to the 3rd inning.
No, he didn't.
He didn't make it to the 4th inning.
But the Mets have led the National League East now for 140-something consecutive days. Their edge is down to 1 game, not 2, as I said before. 1 game over Atlanta.
And they've scored 3 runs or less in 9 of their last 14 games. So they're just not hitting. And Cesar Hernandez, you got to give him credit. He hit his first home run of the season.
And last year he had, like 21 home runs?
Nah.
Yes. Not nah.
No.
Yes.
No, he
Okay,
didn't.
ready? On the count of 3. Middle finger up.
I'm just
Middle
going
finger
to crush you with facts.
All right, yeah, crush me with facts. How many home runs did Cesar Hernandez hit last year?
I bet you it was
Come
under
on,
10.
Jesus. Come on. I say 21. What's the answer?
Well, there's a lot of Hernandez's.
How about Cesar?
Last year?
What is it?
21.
Give me a kiss.
Nope. I'm not giving you a kiss.
He leads the Nationals in hits, doubles, plate appearances.
That's pretty bad when he just hit his first home run. That team sucks.
He's played in only 3 of the last 8 games for the Nationals.
Yeah, because they took him out because he
and
can't
he played some left field. First home run.
He's stolen 9 bases and he's gotten caught 4 times.
Yes,
so
he is.
This is 32 years old. His days of speed are over.
But still very fantasy relevant.
No, he's not.
For home runs and some steals?
No.
Why not?
He's not.
Minnesota beat the White Sox.
He doesn't play, Leonard.
Minnesota beat them. By the way, Tyler Mahle back on the 15-day injured list.
Correa connected in the 5th, hitting a 2-run homer off of Giolito for his 16th home run. Is Daniel here today? Because he needs to plug his ears.
Is that the
Daniel. Poor White Sox.
Poor Daniel.
And Malpal's here. He needs to plug his ears.
Poor Daniel.
Poor Daniel and Malpal.
And then you have Bundy pitched 5 scoreless innings. He is now 7-0, 3.15 ERA in 10 appearances against the White Sox.
Where's my coffee, Leonard?
Oh, I think I was drinking it. I'm sorry. There's your Big Al on the prowl. Everybody's
Hello,
here.
Big Al.
One of the greatest chat room turnouts all year long. Thank you, everybody. And here's big news. Put your pens, pencils, and bloody fingers down. This is something that you got to hear. It's the biggest news. Luis Robert is expected to return to the starting lineup on Monday.
Today.
That's today.
Against Seattle.
Now, is he expected to return to the lineup?
Is he going to steal
Or is
bases?
he just coming to the game?
Is he going to try to steal?
What do you think?
Can we get some attempts at least?
You think Luis Robert is going to actually play today?
Yes, I do.
Now, go ahead. You can talk about Albert. Go ahead.
The Cardinals, the best team in baseball, in my opinion.
All right.
They're the best well-rounded team in baseball.
Okay.
2-0, they beat the Cubbies. It was Albert Pujols' last time facing the Cubbies in his career, and he gave him credit.
He's playing
once
next
again.
year. Albert Pujols will play next year. Okay? Lenny is always right.
No, you're not.
Eddie Heckman says that.
Okay, well, if he says it, then you must be. Okay.
All right, good.
Chicago Cubbies have lost 7 of their last 8, but the Cardinals have won 4 in a row, 18 of their last 20 games, and is a season best 24 games over 500 at 79-59. It was the Cardinals' 8th series sweep of the season.
It was unbelievable.
Yes.
Michelot's 6 shutout innings led the Cardinals. He gave up 2 hits. He struck out 3, walked 1, and 13th save out of 17 chances for Ryan Helsley, who's throwing over 100 miles an hour.
And the Giants beat the Phillies yesterday 5-3.
Oh, wait a second.
Carlos Rodon.
Let's talk about the Cardinals. One more thing.
I love the Cardinals.
They have scored 91 runs in the first inning.
Second to the
The
Dodgers.
Dodgers have scored 95.
Are the Dodgers 50 games over 500? Could that be right?
No.
Okay. Rodon reached
think so.
200 strikeout mark for the first time in his career, and then watched as Wilmer Flores.
Wilmer!
That's great. So you got Wilmer and Rodon, and 200 strikeouts. It's not that surprising for Rodon, is it?
No. And of course, you asked the question about the Phillies.
Has Robbie Ray hit it yet?
The wild card contending Phillies, they're still contending.
Okay.
They've lost for the sixth time in 7 games, wrapping up their trip to Arizona and San Francisco.
And they should not have lost to Arizona and San Francisco. That's the key here. Nick Castellanos went on the 10-day injured list in an expected move after he was injured on a swing Friday night. An MRI exam revealed a mild right oblique strain, and Nick Castellanos to the injured list if you're paying attention in fantasy still. He'll be back September 13th, my birthday.
It is your birthday.
My birthday.
It's your
But
birthday.
we're going to forget it this year, because then I figure if I could just forget it and let it pass by without saying anything, then I'll just stay my age.
No.
46.
You're going to have the... Oh, boy.
Are you ready to trade me in yet?
For who?
I'm 46. Is
For
that
who?
too old for you? Somebody younger. Don't you need somebody younger yet? Am I getting... I know I'm hitting over the hill for you soon.
Altuve had 3 hits, drove in 3 runs.
You don't even acknowledge my
Urquidy
feelings.
pitched a 4-hit ball over 7 innings as the Astros beat the Angels.
Urquidy,
yes.
8-2 since June 21st, which is tied with Verlander and Dylan Cease for most wins in the American League during that span. Opponents are only batting 172 against Urquidy over the last 13 starts, which is the second lowest in the league. Another thing about Urquidy is that he has a great ground ball percentage and he strikes out batters. So this batting average 172 against is just another mark on. I mean, this guy's got great pitching skills.
He's
There's
tremendous.
no doubt about
Did you
it.
talk about his 172?
Yes.
Unbelievable. And then, of course, we mentioned Zach Allen before. You have something else you want to say?
I love Gallon. I wished I would have drafted him, but I didn't.
Dalton Varsho hit his
Another
20.
guy. He went high in drafts.
Another guy you touted, right?
Kinda. I touted him a year too early is the problem. I picked him as the rookie of the year 2 years ago, and he didn't show up. But
And Christian Yelich missed his 3rd straight game.
why? Because he has neck problems?
He's got neck problems. Atlanta, Max Fried, no hits in 5 scoreless innings. Why is Marcell Ozuna playing? Marcell Ozuna, DWI, could have killed somebody. Didn't get a suspension. Tatis took a drug. He got suspended. Something's not right here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
It
doesn't seem like it goes straight across the board.
That's
here.
right. Ozuna homered. The Braves won their 5th straight. This is how they did it last year. You think the Braves are going to beat the Mets?
Austin Riley has the second most home runs in the national, maybe in all of baseball. No, he's right behind Judge. No, I'm lying. He's the second in the National League,
Okay.
only to Kyle Schwarber.
Okay, the Braves have taken in 5 in a row. They've 20 out of 25, 33 over 500, 1 game of the Mets. They're 61 and 24 since June 1st. That is the very best in the majors.
And Max Fried, since he became a full-time starter in 2019, second most wins in the majors, 51, and only trails Garrett Cole. He improved to 3-2 with a 1.66 ERA over his last 6 starts, and his career ERA against the Marlins is 4.94. But the Braves are 9-3 in his starts. If you can imagine that,
And
because
that's
it doesn't
why,
make sense.
That's why I take him every single year.
The Braves have 90 home runs from players aged 25 and younger. Austin Riley has 35, followed by William Contreras, Harris, Acuna, Ozzie Albies, and Vaughn Grissom.
And what do you think of this kid, Harris? He's singled 3 times, and he's got a hitting streak. I don't know how many games.
He's got 12-game hitting streak.
12-game hitting streak.
Among rookies with at least 200 plate appearances this year, Harris ranks first in slugging percentage, OPS, and batting average.
Wow.
He's batting .406.
Wow. Sorry, go ahead.
Do I need this?
Who'd you have?
Hold on.
Who'd you rather have, Harris or Soto?
I just need a sound. They're cheering, I think.
All right, go
I think
ahead.
they're cheering. Okay. He's batting .406 and 32 at bats against the Marlins this year. He was caught stealing in the sixth for the first time in 17 attempts. This guy's stealing more bases than the whole White Sox team.
How much you paying for Harris next year?
I don't think I'm not going to. I just.
How much is he going to go for? You're not going to get him. Is Harris a $20 player in a
No.
$264 man?
I don't think he will go for
I
20.
definitely think so. $23. Now, of course, the Dodgers
In
and
a
the
only
Padres.
league.
Will Smith homered for the second straight game.
Trace Thompson hit a homer.
Okay,
Pinch
Trace
hit
Thompson.
home run.
Okay, that's fine.
So the Dodgers have the best record in the majors at 92 and 41. Extended their lead over the Padres. Another team is catching the Padres too, by the way.
Yep. Who else?
There's another team catching.
What was that?
There's another team catching the Padres. It might be the Diamondback. No, it can't be the Diamondback. Anyways, there's another team hot.
Magic number is 9.
Okay, they need 9. So, anyways, David Price.
Forget it. We're not talking about David Price.
Okay,
anymore.
forget it.
David Price was 10 years ago.
I don't know why they just kicked him out of the rotation, dude.
How about Seattle and Cleveland? J.P.
Well,
Crawford.
Cleveland is sucking.
Yeah, well, Crawford signaled to go ahead and run in the 11th.
Oh, they
And
made it to the 11th inning.
Cal Raleigh.
2-run homer.
Wow, homered twice on Friday, followed by and then another home run.
Oh, if
He's
you
got
picked him up by accident, you're doing.
22 home runs. Nobody talked about Cal Raleigh in the preseason.
Did you?
No.
So Cleveland has lost 5 in a row. Julio Rodriguez, 23rd homer.
Yep.
Great job, Julio.
So who'd you rather have? Julio Rodriguez or Juan Soto
Oh, come
for
on,
next
man.
year? Come on, chat room.
You've got to be kidding me.
Julio Rodriguez. Why?
You're joking me, right?
Who?
You're going to compare Julio to Soto.
Yes.
Well, you're making a huge mistake.
So who do you like better?
Soto.
Are you kidding me? Chat room. Who do you like
You're talking
better?
about a rookie, dude. You're talking about a rookie.
Julio
Remember,
Rodriguez
you
or
don't believe
Juan
in your saying
Soto?
anymore? Rookie is a
Yes,
rookie
I
is
do,
a
but
rookie.
Who do you like better next year?
There's no way.
Soto?
He steals bases, but if you're that hell-bent on getting stolen bases, it's crazy because, I mean, Soto is just... Look, he's on a better team.
Let's see who the chat room likes.
I think that... Okay.
Let's see.
Well, everybody
Rodriguez?
gets to have their own opinion.
Love it. Love it. Love you too, Chris.
They're taking
Chris from
Rodriguez
Kansas.
over Soto.
They're taking Rodriguez over Soto.
Good. I need to be in leagues with these people.
The Mariners, who hold one of the American League's 3 wild card spots, they have won what?
They have won 14 of their last
14 of 18.
And they won all 6 games on their road trip. And if the Mariners make it to the playoffs, it will be the longest drought in history, in all the sports history. 21 years of not making the playoffs.
Well, listen.
Is that it, Leonard?
Thank you to Anthony D.B. Miller, Big Al on the Prowl, Boston Paul, Chris from Cambridge, Dad of Premier. I may have missed you before. Ed Sullivan,
Eddie
Ed Heckman, James Caprion, Jeremy Gibbs with another birthday, J.R. Matz,
And Mickey.
and Mickey, and
Mikey.
Mikey.
Mikey, Moose, and Danny.
Mikey Moose and Danny. Jeff Trella, Leonard Donaldson,
Mitchell, where's Merrill?
He's there. Rotorius, Sonny Clark,
Hey, Sonny.
Tommy Johnston,
The couch potato.
Annalie Toledo. Ladies and
Can you
gentlemen,
believe the couch potatoes
with
here?
all the guests, I love you all. And I'll be back tomorrow. What do you think?
I'll be right by your side,
Right,
as
bro?
always.
And
You love
Lamont,
me, don't you?
I love you.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.